Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin and Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. So, we had an update. We had a pretty big update. So, let's talk about it. Where do I want to start? There's a lot of things that I'm not happy with. Okay. Oh, okay. First thing. We're going to come on over to the gotcha screen and get it out of the way. Starters, nothing new was added here. The last waifu added was our pumpkin spice waifu Tatsumi, so the pool is still the same, like as you can see here. This is the last thing that was added. I think they threw her in here last week. Now, this Asuka supporter. So let's look her over since we actually have her in English and not machine translated using poetry. So, her ability reads, increased damage dealt to machine, demon, or human-type enemies by 18%. That would be 36% at max. For anyone who doesn't know, you just simply double the values, and that would give you the maximum. And that damage type, it says swap targets every 5 seconds. So, I guess for 5 seconds, she'll deal more to machines, and then it'll go to demons and then humans and what have you. It'll just change every 5 seconds. Now, her actual ability, when reading the actual machine translated version, it kind of read like what Fuma Amane would do. But in reality, I think it's terrible. So basically, it says when dodging incoming attacks, she fires a small missile that deals 40% damage and knocks back her target. And that would be applied every 5 seconds. So, basically when you dodge, you get a missile that's on a 5-second cooldown. Not that great. Her active ability says launches a rocket punch that deals 350% damage and knocks back the target. Again, not that great. So, what do I think of this supporter overall? I think this is a resounding skip. Unless you're like some sort of Asuka fanboy, I don't see a reason to go for this supporter. Ultra Runner, one of the guys on my Discord server, he already pulled her, he's already played her, he's already said that she's basically garbage. There's no reason to go for this, especially at the limited supporter price of 50 per pull, making it basically 500 gems for every 10 pull. I would not pursue this. I just wouldn't. It's definitely a bait banner to kind of lower people's gems. So don't get baited by the bait banner. On top of that, the same thing applies in the Shop of Desires. She is not worth 12,000 mileage. She's not good enough for that. If you do want her and you have 100 desire lying around, I could see grabbing her for 1,000 gems, sure, because that's only the equivalent of 2 10 pulls. But if you don't have if you don't have the desire points already, I don't suggest farming the desire on her banner, because it's just not worth it, man. Like, she's just not that good. Especially with something like Adult Yuki that we haven't received yet. I would definitely hold my gems for something like that, and also my desire for something like her, because Adult Yuki is obviously the superior supporter. So, just pass on Asuka. Like, that's my advice. If you want to go for her, or you already did, then you know, it's too late. There's nothing I can do about it, but this is my opinion of her. She just isn't super great with what we currently already have in the game, with things like Spica and Yuno and Shisui. And then on top of that, like, even Homura's better, because Asuka kind of gives you, even at max rank, it would be 36% damage, but it swaps enemy types every 5 seconds. If you want something that gives damage, we already have, like, let me just come in here, this thing right here. This is 30% damage to anything at all times, and you only take 10% more. So, this alone is better than Asuka. Like, even her active is better than Asuka. So, it's crazy that Asuka is like a limited supporter at that price point of 500 gems per 10 pull. So, yeah, with that out of the way, next I want to look at this. I hate this system. I'm just going to say it. I had to wait 9 hours to get this. Like, these beads are useless. What are these? Like, what are those? And then this, like, I already have, like, over 1,000 of these. Why would I want these? Like, these items are terrible. So I don't know who this system is trying to cater to. Because, like, I could say these would help new players, but even as a new player, I didn't care about regular beads. I never did. The same thing with, like, these modules, they're only really good while you're upgrading facilities, and outside of that, you just use them to craft golden beads and never look at them. These I never use because there's a weapon facility, so these are just completely useless. So, that's the first thing with this system. The rewards seem really meh. And before people say, oh yeah, you get gems. Yeah, you can get gems, but obviously they're not going to be a common drop. On top of that, the only other good item I saw here was like a lemon drink or something, and that just gives you 5 AP. But those are probably going to be more rare, and you're probably more going to commonly get mats like this. Outside of like the mats, let me just finish these terrible things so I can see what we get next. Now there's the drink. Okay. Now, outside of look at this, like who wants this? What is this? Anyway, outside of the mats, the other issue is this UR requirement. Like there isn't any super rare requirement from what I've seen, so you're literally sending rare supporters you have lying around if you have a surplus, and you're sending ultra rares. Now, going back to what I said before, I can see this maybe helping new players, but not really, because only 8 of these, like, that isn't going to really do anything for you. But besides the point, what new player is going to have ultra rares just lying around? Like, just for these first 4 rows, I'm going to have to send out 6 total ultra rares, which I have lying around because of all the events I've done, but a new player, or even like a nun whale, or someone who's never done gacha like that, probably isn't going to be able to really take advantage of this system. So I really tried to like figure out who are they catering to? What is this for? Why is this here? It doesn't really help. Like this item's okay. Cool, yeah, I'll get 9 of these for doing this one. So that's not bad. But outside of this, no one needs Tome of Secrets. Like, I never needed these. These are terrible. No one goes out of their way to max out rare supporters as, like, their mains. And then, alloy ingots are easily farmed from dailies. Same with these shards. Who needs these? I don't know, man. On top of that, as you all saw with my initial dispatch missions, the items were terrible, so I immediately was like, oh, I'll just refresh the missions. And as you can see, that also costs 5 gems. So, like, you can't even refresh them. Who's going to spend 5 gems for this? Who would actually, in their right mind, do that with how little gems we get? They want 5 gems to change the dispatch mission to something more favorable, where we already wait 6 hours just to get 3 gems from the special mode. So why would we spend 5 here? So you're pretty much like stuck. Like if you want to see what the next mission will be, you just have to simply do the mission at hand. And that's like for these rewards, you're just pretty much getting time-gated garbage thrown into your inventory unless you manage to get the drinks or unless you manage to get the gems to spawn, which I've yet to see gems. And I will not be refreshing like with this 5 gem cost to fish for them. So overall, I just think this system is an entire dub. On top of that, it's costly. So I already brought the first 4, but if I'm remembering correctly, it came to a total of 360k gold. It costs 400k to do the final upgrade for a character. So they think that these slots, these first 4 slots, are almost worth your final character upgrade in gold. The first slot I believe was 10k, then the second slot was 50k, the third slot was 100k, and then the fourth slot was 200k. The fifth slot is just a whole nother can of worms, like 500 gems. 500 gems is literally a 10 pull and a limited banner. Why would I ever spend 500 gems here? Like, okay, looking at this, 500 gems is literally about 30 bucks. Because it's $39.99 for 620 gems. So 500 gems is about 30 bucks. 30 bucks? Like, for this? No. No one who would do this. 500 gems is almost half a month of free-to-play farm, and it's almost 30 bucks if you top up. I would never buy this. Like, there's just... No. It's terrible. Like, this system is awful. I'm not happy with it. Like, I'd rather them just add, like, a survival mode with no rewards, and that would be the equivalent of this. And this UR requirement they're really throwing in our face is just... Ugh, like... I feel for anyone who doesn't have the URs to get everything done, because that means you're pretty much stuck. Like, for example, like, if I only had one ultra rare that I could spare, I would simply only do this fresh aid, this one for the fresh aid. But what that means is that these others will just sit here and never get refreshed unless I pay 5 gems. So you pretty much are in a situation where you either do them to see the next one, which means you're sending ultra rares out. You either pay the 5 gems, which means you're losing gems, to see what the next one will be, or you just pick and choose what you can do because you don't have the ultra rares. So, oh, it's awful. The other issues. Okay, so the supporters you send out here, they do not earn any affection meter. So what I mean by that is, like, we'll come over to the crafting facility. Not crafting, but the weapon facility. I believe there's a supporter being worked on here. Yeah, okay, so Hisui's chilling here. Her affection's level 4 just from sitting in here and working on weapons, right? So that won't happen with the dispatch system. Like, their affection does not go up. Their level does not go up. There are no achievements tied to using the dispatch system. So the supporters you're sending out literally get no benefit. You're just sending out supporters into this system, and the only thing that's a reward that you're getting are the items that it gives. Because there's no progression for the actual supporters. The other issue is that when you send a supporter out here, you cannot actually use them in gameplay. So in the situation of having to send out ultra rares, don't send out an ultra rare that you actually use or play or will need to use in the near future, because you're not going to be able to use them. They will be out on an expedition or dispatch, and they will be locked during that time frame. So overall, I wanted to rant about this system. I just think it's a literal pile of hot steaming garbage. I don't know if anyone is happy with this. Like, on my Discord, people are totally not happy with it. Pretty much outline the issues I'm outlining here, and it's just... It's like a joke at this point. Like, I don't know if the people who are in charge of this game have ever like worked on a gacha game. Like, I don't know if this is their first time. I don't know if they think they're doing great, but this is not great. This is awful. This needs to have like some sort of buff to the rewards to even be useful if we're going to have to send ultra rares out. Okay, I'm done. Let's leave here. Outside of the dispatch system and outside of the bait banner that is Asuka, there's not really much else happening. There were some changes to Sue, but I'm going to do a second video and go into them there. So outside of that, I don't really think there's anything else. We have like just till the end of this week for the event, so if you haven't finished your event, make sure you get on it and do that, because that will be leaving next Monday after maintenance. We didn't get any new story or anything special added like that, and that's pretty much it. So TLDR or TLDW, I guess, too long didn't watch. The dispatch system is dirt. I mean, if you have the ultra rares lying around, obviously, like, just send them out on the missions, because gems can trickle in from here, but do not refresh for gems. Please don't waste your gems on this. It's not worth it. The rewards are not good enough. And do not spend 500 gems on the final slot. Unless you're just a whale and you have 500 gems lying around, like I would not suggest spending gems here, like I probably never will. So outside of this system being garbage and outside of Asuka's banner being a bait because she's not that great, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I wish you good luck in your gotchas and in the arena. And you guys go ahead and take care. I'll catch you tomorrow with another video.